What's up guys, it's me. If you take a look at the comments of my YouTube videos, you'll see that I haven't really interacted with any of them. It's not that I don't want to, I just don't see much of a reason in doing it. Will it better connect me with the small audience I have? I guess so, but isn't me just reading them enough? Probably not. Someone leaves a comment on my video, I read it, but I should probably close the loop by interacting with it in some way. So yeah, I've looked at the comments I've gotten, but never reacted or responded to them in a way you guys could see. So today, I'll be reacting to comments. I'll heart some, pin some, and hell, I might even respond to some. The first set of comments I'll look at are from the Chips tier list video. Why? Well, because I kind of already reacted to a comment already. I like how he can't even pin a comment. SMH. Well, I hope you're happy, man. I pinned and hearted your comment. Epic video, man. Your channel is severely underrated. That's a pretty nice thing to say. I appreciate that. Damn, I think I disagreed with everything. Well, it's not bad if you did. The tier list was just my opinion, and people can have differing ones. Not everyone has to agree with everything.
What do you mean you don't agree with me? Do you know who you're dealing with?
I know this man gonna blow up. Another nice comment. I highly doubt my channel will blow up, but it's nice knowing someone thinks it will. I guess that indicates I'm doing something right. I hate every kind of chips, so my tier list will have a single letter. E. That's a pretty funny comment. I'll give it a heart. Oh yeah, I'll probably be hearting a majority of the comments I read in this video, so don't think I didn't heart a comment just because I didn't explicitly say, I'll give it a heart. Bro, the cheddar jalapeno Cheetos are goated! Well, at least someone out there likes them. Bro, why you hate the plain ones? XD. Well, because plain potato chips don't really taste that great. When I eat chips, I know I shaved off maybe an hour or so of my life expectancy due to how unhealthy they really are. But if they tasted great, I'm fine with it. Plain potato chips are not only unhealthy, but so dissatisfying that the hour it reduced from my lifespan was a complete waste. I'd rather deep fry dead leaves I found in a stagnant puddle on a sidewalk. Those would probably taste way better than plain potato chips. Okay, this person said, yes, and left a timestamp at the part where I talk about wanting Elma in Smash. At least someone out there knows who this character is. I'd love to see how many other Xenoblade Chronicles X fans are out there. Mario is Nintendo is a big character, that's why he should stay. I can't tell if this is a 9-year-old, someone mocking me, or a 9-year-old mocking me. I'll assume this guy is mocking me because of my reasoning for keeping certain characters in Smash. I did say I'd be giving super vague reasons for keeping them in, which shows that I'm well aware they weren't the most compelling of reasons. I know you could probably give a more detailed explanation for including a character in the game, but when you think about it, why should you? Sakurai put Pyra and Mythra in the game because he wanted them in. He put Min Min in the game because the ARMS director said, I want Min Min. Back on the Wii U and 3DS Smash games, Sakurai added Ryu because fans wanted him in. Basically, I shouldn't have to overanalyze a character and write a 16-page English essay with parenthetical citations just to say, I want to keep Zero Suit Samus in Smash because she is cool. Why did you cut Inkling? I don't like Inkling, that's why. Also, I maybe forgot about her when making the video. I think Shadow from Sonic. I don't agree with that. I'd rather have Tails or Knuckles, to be honest. They'd be way more unique. Sonic already has the most monotonous moveset imaginable, and Shadow would probably just be a clone that's slower but does more damage. I think Steve should stay because he is Steve. That's a funny comment. I personally don't think Steve should be in another Smash game. It just doesn't seem right to put him in a Smash reboot decades from now, you know? This is the closest and only time I will watch Death Battle. By the way, this is the most accurate description of Death Battle I've ever seen. Okay dude, this is accurate. This is actually accurate. Death Battle are idiots. Exactly to the T. I'm glad other people agreed. Death Battle is pretty lame. Can't wait to watch big-eyed anime character versus comic book character. Who's gonna win? Let me quickly sum up the next Death Battle and every other one to come. Guy 1. Guy 2.
Amogus.
Guy 1 starts winning. Guy 2 starts winning. Guy 1 starts winning again because of true power. Guy 2 ends up winning. Now, before I move on, let me clarify something. A friend gave me these Among Us plushies. I'd never buy stuff like this unironically. Among Us is cringe. Death Battle is not that cringy. It kinda is. This guy actually deleted his comment a while ago. Good thing I got snapshots of all the comments I'd be reading over early on. Finally, someone who understands me about editing. Yeah, editing in Fortnite is tough. I'll run into my fair share of tryhard builders and usually beat them, but once they start editing at lightning fast speeds, it's over. I can't compete. This whole channel is underrated. It's nice to know someone thinks that. I think that the other 8 people that watch this channel are gonna get pissed and unsub. This was the first comment I got on this video. It's funny to think I only had 8 subs when I uploaded it. I remember he later responded to his own comment saying something like, "Never mind, I think you attracted new people, lol," but he seems to have deleted it. I wonder why. Nice video. You deserve more subs. Your videos are really good. Another nice set of comments. I appreciate you guys saying that. I hate Fortnite.
Oh, more Fortnite.
Wi-Fi anywhere
How dare you? How dare you say you hate Fortnite? I shall default dance on your grave when your time comes. Okay, now we're getting into the videos with a decent number of comments. Looks at my entire collection and laughs nervously. That's a funny comment, given the context of the video. I'll give it a heart. Billy, haha, green cargo, brrr. Kevin, peace was never an option. Another funny comment. Enjoy a heart. At 3 minutes in, he's not wrong. I always loved the action figures with good articulations, head swaps, etc. Nice to know someone out there agrees with me. The Heat Blast Metamorphic figure is the first toy I remember owning. I still have it today and I cherish it. I like this comment. They're clearly not some butthurt man-child. They respect my opinion of the action figures and simply disagree because they have fond memories of owning one of them. I know that's not exactly what they said, but it comes off that way. Either way, they get a heart. I only had a Ben 10 action figure as a kid and gave it to charity with a whole bunch of stuff a few years back. I regret that now. Great video, loved the Sonic music in the background by the way. Another lovely comment just like the previous one. They had a Ben 10 figure as a kid, they sadly don't own it anymore, and regret giving it away. I resonate with that. There are lots of toys and video games I owned when I was younger that I truly regret getting rid of. This gets a heart as well. Also, I like that they noticed my use of Sonic music. I love the editing here. Absolutely boosts the humor. Heh, I really appreciate this comment. It wasn't the fanciest editing, but I'm glad it was enough to boost someone's enjoyment of the video. That Ben 10 balloon at the end is gonna haunt my dreams. Good. I'm bringing awareness to how terrifying that thing is. What? No, stock Moten action figures are not dominantly sold to kids. That's Koikif level. And figurines are used in all forms of able to RPG, and ish to come you with storylines. Your ego hit the moon this time acting Ike, everyone has to think like you. I really wish I knew what Koikif was supposed to be. Your ego hit the moon this time acting like everyone has to think like you. I mean, no? This was just a video of me going over some Ben 10 toys that I found dumb and explaining why I liked the watches more. How was I acting like everyone has to think like me? If I make a video saying Pokemon is a boring game franchise, am I going to expect everyone who watches to feel the same way? No. Honestly, what annoys me about this guy in this and the Omnitrix video is how he's so focused on what's accurate to the show. There's a lot of people, myself included, who liked both figures and roleplay items because they both were fun to play with. To judge if a figure is good or not simply based on whether it can be used for stop motion or not is a really restrictive way to look at toys. As for the Omnitrix, while I agree with some things, I couldn't help but be annoyed by how he just said lame gimmick, lame toy to anything that wasn't 100% identical to the show. I know it's random for a guy to randomly rant about this on a 3-month-old, video at the time of writing this, but I just had to get it off my chest. I'd say this is a fairly butthurt comment. I like that I could actually understand what the guy was saying, unlike other angry comments in the Ben 10 videos. Still had a couple typos, but was still intelligible. He's so focused on what's accurate to the show. Well, I've always been about accuracy, even when I was a kid. That's why I never picked up any Ben 10 figures and stuck to my D-Arts Mega Man figures and Jazzware Sonic figures. I agree that the stop motion rule is fairly restrictive, but it's my restrictive rule. You know, for me. I get people out there can enjoy the less expressive stuff, and that's totally fine. I'm glad they can enjoy something I can't. The video is just me expressing my distaste for the lame figures in a somewhat exaggerated manner. Objectively speaking, the toys I bash, in both Ben 10 videos, are sufficient. I just think this guy took my statements a little personally, and you can kind of see that when he injects himself into the argument with, "There's a lot of people, myself included," and "I can't help but be annoyed." I don't know, I just feel like he could have contributed more to the argument instead of just saying, "I hate that he said this," or "I'm annoyed that he said that." You should have talked about the Wild Mutt toy that drooled slime all over your hand. I didn't know something like that even existed. It sounds terrible. What kid would ever want that? That's the thing. These toy developers don't understand what kids want. For some reason, they think boys only like gross out humor and ugly looking stuff. I know this is a small selection of weird toys within a larger pool of better toys, but stuff like the Wild Mutt slime toy this guy is talking about should not exist. Kids deserve better. Okay, I like this guy's comment. It's long, so I'll try to paraphrase it. Basically, he thinks Kevin's car is cool. Instead of converting said cool car into a cool toy with intricate functionality, they just made it explode. He also says my stop motion rule is a good metric. Toys aren't cheap, and they should live up to that. I really agree with this comment. Kevin's car is pretty cool. Why would you make the toy's only gimmick disintegrating? I get the car getting destroyed was a running joke in the show, but that's not a very fun thing to include in a toy. If I didn't know any better, I would have thought that car crashes were Chinese bootlegs, just because they gave them terrible functionality. And yeah, action figures aren't cheap. Parents shouldn't have to pay exorbitant prices for some cheap pieces of plastic for their kid. I get that it's a net positive trade. It doesn't cost much to make, so sell it for more to make more money in the end. Companies will always do this no matter what, but I feel these insanely basic action figures shouldn't cost upwards of $20. Okay, so this video has the most comments out of every other video I've uploaded. A majority of the comments are fairly brief and don't have much to them, so I'm just gonna look over a few. Correction in intro. Prototype recalibrated Ultimatrix complete. Okay, this comment. I'm honestly baffled by it. How is it the most liked comment of the video? The guy is unnecessarily correcting me because I didn't refer to the watches by their actual names at the beginning of the video. All of the Omnitrices are referred to as Omnitrix in the show, except for the Ultimatrix, of course. It wouldn't make sense to say Omnitrix, Omnitrix, Ultimatrix, and Omnitrix, so I said Classic 1, Alien Force 1, Ultimatrix, and Omniverse 1. It makes more sense to refer to them that way, and normal viewers will understand what I mean just fine. When someone says dog in a video, do you comment, correction in video, Canis lupus familiaris? No, so don't pull a Jimmy Neutron on me.
Just a little sodium chloride.
Actually, dude, it's salt.
I know this is probably just some 9-year-old, but still. I like to give the comment a heart just because of how bizarre it is, but then I'd just be encouraging their cringy behavior. Omniverse has another one, Galactic Monsters Omnitrix. It's the most size-accurate one, and is the same behavior of the series. I got a few other comments talking about this Omniverse watch, so I did look into it. It is insanely slim and probably the best looking Omniverse watch toy. So naturally, I got it. It's pretty cool. I guess I can review it right now to please some of my viewers. Like I said, it's super slim. Because of this, the emblem doesn't pop out at all. It's just buried within the watch's body, and the remaining space within the watch is taken up by the top's hinge mechanism. One thing I don't understand is why they made the hinge for the upper strap protrude from under the watch's body. The bottom strap is perfect, no protrusions here. Why couldn't they just do that for the upper strap? I think it has something to do with the top's hinge, but it doesn't seem like the functionality would suffer if you just pushed these protrusions in. In the end, it's a good Omnitrix toy. Definitely the most accurate looking one for Omniverse. I have the Reboot Deluxe Omnitrix and I thought it was amazing. Yeah, I'm glad people out there actually like it. I just think it's too bulky and funny looking. At 1354, OP on a galactic scale. Loved the video, thanks for your thoughts. This is probably one of the nicest comments I've gotten. They loved the video and thanked me for my thoughts. You don't really see anyone say that in YouTube comments, like, ever. Also, I'm glad someone waited till the end to see me wearing all 4 watches on one arm. This gets a heart. Your content and editing is incredibly good. I'm legitimately surprised you don't have like 1 million subs already. Anyway, you earned one. Thanks for subscribing. Honestly, I'm surprised they think my content as a whole is good. When I think about it, none of my other videos can really compete with this Ben 10 one, and it just makes me feel like this was the only good video I've made. Either way, I'm glad this guy likes my other content, and my subpar editing. I'm gonna do a PowerPoint presentation in class, just like this one. I'ma reference you, don't worry. I remember seeing this comment when it was fairly new. I honestly want to know if he actually made that PowerPoint presentation. What class would you even make that for, anyway? It has been a while since he posted this comment, but there's no harm in asking. Hopefully he responds if I reply. I remember having the Omnitrix challenge as a child. Burn me, please. Yikes, I can't believe someone actually had that awful watch. Time to burn you. Some of the toys you seem to think were dumb and gimmicky were actually some of my favorite childhood toys, but I was just excited as a child to have an Omnitrix. Yeah, if these toys were part of your childhood, ignore anything bad I had to say about them. Good on you for retaining those childhood memories. Hey dude, surprisingly you weren't famous yet. I was confused when I saw your sub count. Also, where can I get the OG watch? Well, if you want to find any of the watches I talked about in the video, eBay is probably your best bet. Or you could just be insanely lucky and find one at a flea market. Anyway, nice to know someone thinks I should be famous. Gotta love Xenoblade Chronicles X's soundtrack. Yes. Why am I watching this? I'm 21. Now this is epic. I was hoping mostly people above 17 would watch this video. It was supposed to be like a nostalgia trip. Even if I rag on a majority of the watches, I still hoped it would bring back memories for others. Why was this one bad? It seems to be by far the most accurate of all the Ultimatrices. Okay, this guy is referring to the Viewscope Ultimatrix. I said I thought the gimmick was bad and didn't elaborate, so that's my bad. When you think about it, the cylinder that sticks out of the Viewscope Ultimatrix can be seen as the hologram effect from the show, but I just think the execution was bad. The little cylinders you shove into the Viewscope just have some lazily pasted PNGs of aliens from the show. They could have at least turned them into green silhouettes to better emulate the hologram effect, but they didn't. The Alien Force watch still did the hologram effect better. I hate the new version of the show. The OG watch is the best. I am enjoying rewatching this show with my 4-year-old son now. He loves it. Love this comment. I like that he's leading his son down the right path by showing him the original Ben 10 show. You, sir, are a great father. Damn. Those spin-off watches are the worst. Heck, here in the Philippines back in the day when Ben 10 was popular, there were Jollibee toy versions of the Omnitrix. This one, however, comes in 4 versions: Illuminator, Radicator, Ejector, and Identicator watches. They're just these cheap Omnitrices that come with your meal order, but let me tell you, they are so much better than these spin-offs. They still have gimmicks to it, but they're so subtle unlike the watches in the video. It's rare to find it online since it only came in the Philippines, I believe, but if you're curious, just Google Jollibee Omnitrix. This is a very interesting comment. I looked into this and found a few images of these kids' meal toys. It's really interesting. They're full-on Omnitrices, super cheap looking obviously, but I'd honestly rather have these than the projector watches or disc launchers. I'm just so surprised there seemed to be actual effort put into making these kids' meal toys. So you hate every Omnitrix toy you don't have? And they ain't spin-offs. They kinda are spin-offs. The reason I don't have them is because they aren't good. So yeah, technically I do hate every Omnitrix toy I don't have. This guy just hates all the others literally only because it doesn't look like the show's one, which honestly, I think is pretty dumb behavior. No offense. This comment just sounds really silly. I like how they say pretty dumb behavior. It just sounds unnecessarily wordy. I feel like they could have said, which I honestly think is pretty annoying, instead. It's like they just learned what the word behavior meant and thought it would make sense to use it in this context, which works, but it's not very fitting. Also, the no offense part is pretty funny. I guess he thought saying pretty dumb behavior was too mean, so he had to tack on the no offense to cushion the blow. When he said the Omnitrix Deluxe was lame, I felt mad. Angry emoji. Really mad. Double angry emoji. Disliking this video felt a lot better. I don't really have anything to say about this comment. I just thought it was funny. I hat you, and the reboot is good. The missing E in hate makes this a pretty funny comment too. That's way I dislike and not subscribe. Another funny comment. Stop hurting Bandai. Imagine someone hurt you and your channel, huh? Think about this and tell us. Big Dumbo with the foul mouth. Kids love Ben 10, and you're disgrassing it. Guys, think about them working hard and selling Omnitrix toys for the promotion. Imagine the workers and their family. If you complaining Bandai, people of USA will believe you and stop buying Ben 10 watches. And they lose their money. Soon, they'll be bankrupt. They're Amelie. It'll help them. If it wasn't for you, did you start a YouTube channel just to be rich, huh? Well, no. I just felt like making videos. I had no intention of becoming famous, and I don't think I ever will be, and that's alright. Also, why would people stop buying Ben 10 toys because of me? I have absolutely no influence over others at all. I'm not a brain-dead celebrity on Twitter, you know? Honestly, if Ben 10 toys ceased production, I don't think the workers would care much at all. They'd just move on to some other toy line. I don't know. This just has to be the most dramatic comment I've ever read. Dude, you ruin everything. This is such a blunt comment. Just because I made fun of some of the Ben 10 watches, I ruined everything in existence. I'm unsubbing. I watched the reboot and enjoyed it. Why is everyone hating on it? Ben 10 is Ben 10. This comment is interesting. A majority of my subscribers came from this Ben 10 video. This guy is clearly a Ben 10 fan because he likes the reboot, so there's no way he saw my other videos before this one and subscribed. What, did he subscribe because of the Fortnite video or something? I doubt it. So here's my theory. He initially subscribed while watching this Ben 10 video. Then when he got to the reboot section, he got salty that I didn't like the reboot, then posted this comment about unsubscribing. I honestly want to know if that's the case, because if it is, that's pretty funny. Loads gun. Does anyone know where this guy lives? Don't tell him this, but I live in Pleasant Park on the Fortnite map. You know that one house to the side that sometimes spawns an item on the roof? That's where I live. Don't tell him, guys, please. More Ben 10 content. Okay, this guy really wants me to do more Ben 10 stuff. He even commented Ben 10 on one of my more recent uploads, which had nothing to do with Ben 10, by the way. Like I said in the description of my second Ben 10 video, I don't want to milk the franchise. Plus, there are tons of other channels that make Ben 10 videos. I don't really see how mine are that special. So yeah, I don't want to make too many Ben 10 videos, but I do have a couple of ideas for some. You know what? Screw it. My next video is going to be Ben 10 related, so stay tuned for that, I guess. Anyway, let's continue. I don't know about anyone else, but that Baba Booey bit earned yourself a subscriber. I'm surprised this guy found that bit funny, so much so that he subscribed. We found it. It wasn't Green Needle or Brainstorm, it's Baba Booey. Yeah, that whole Brainstorm or Green Needle thing was really stupid. Kind of like the white and gold or blue and black dress and Yanny or Laurel. I honestly put the Baba Booey sound in the video because of that. And I also thought it would be funny. Fun fact, Ben's new alien, Baba Booey. Haha, yes, my Baba Booey bit was pretty good. When he said Baba Booey, I was dying laughing. Another person who liked the Baba Booey bit. Ah, I remember my childhood's greatest alien of all time, Baba Booey. Okay, I'm starting to think there are a few too many Baba Booey comments. Holy hell, that's a lot of Baba Booies. I think I'm done reading comments for this video. Alright, that's pretty much all the comments I wanted to go over. I know I didn't go through every video I have, but that's because I went through the somewhat decent ones only. My other crappy videos have maybe 3 or 4 comments with little to no substance to them. You know what? Let's look at one last comment. This video needs more likes and views. This was the first comment I ever received. It was on my first video, obviously, which I wouldn't recommend watching, by the way. It's a pretty heartwarming comment. I'll pin it, give it a heart, and I'll end it there. Thanks for watching, guys.